The new VGU poll arrived, and by now people already voted for the champions they wanted to vote for. And since you can't take back your votes, I can't convince you who you should be voting for, but I can convince you your choice was wrong. And so today, let's talk about the champion updates, the ones we are getting and the ones we may be getting. 2 days ago, Riot gave us another presentation where they showed us all the new things that will be arriving in 2022. If you are interested in my reaction to that stream, we do have the VOD on the second channel. Regardless, there we got so much new information I would be able to fill 2 episodes of Rift News. So instead of going absolutely crazy, I'm going to chop it into smaller pieces. That's why last time we talked about the cinematic, and this time we're talking about updating champions. Super quickly, I have to mention that Ahri was confirmed to get an ASU, similar to what happened to Caitlyn. And I'm very happy to hear that. Because if you have played Ruined King or Legends of Runeterra, you know how cool Ahri is outside of League of Legends. While there she looks like a PS2 character, her design, especially in Ruined King, is incredible. And so all I want from Ahri's ASU is her design in Legends of Runeterra and in Ruined King. In League of Legends, she looks like your generic sexy character, who talks about consuming souls, hehe, but in reality, Ahri is far more wild and feral, and she can't control her urge to consume souls. That's who she is. So while in League of Legends she is quite boring, in reality she has incredible potential. So I'm glad to see that Riot will be doing something with her. Anyway, now onto the VGU poll. Since the 2 favorites of the last poll were reworked, those being Volibear and Fiddlesticks, we now got in some replacements, while keeping some of the other champions who always appear in the poll but never win. So right now we have Shyvana, Nocturne, Skarner, Tryndamere and Kogmaw. I have to be honest, every time there was a VGU poll, you kinda knew who would win, because there was always that one champion who really deserved it. And people voted for that champion because they really just wanted to see what Riot could do with that champion. But this time around, it may be the first VGU poll where all the champions are just kinda there, and people genuinely have no idea who they should be voting for. Or at least the majority. If you main a champion, it's likely you're gonna vote for them. But what's interesting to see is that these 5 are not the worst champions we have in League of Legends. There are other champions who had the same model since the beta of this game. So I'm genuinely baffled that there is no Shaco, Zilean, Gragas, Malphite or Cho'Gath. These are the worst models in League of Legends, and not a single one of them is here. Even Tryndamere was reworked since the beta, but you don't include Gragas? Have you seen what Wild Rift did to him? Anyway, let's calm down and let's talk about the 5 choices we got. First of all, let's talk about Skarner. Skarner is in a weird spot. He is so unpopular that there is a really slim chance he's actually gonna win, even though he probably would deserve it. The thing with Skarner is that the Brackern, which is his race, has never appeared anywhere else besides just Skarner. So Skarner is the only representation of that race. This means that Riot can technically retcon the appearance of the Brackern, and they can go wild with Skarner. The issue is, Skarner is a monster, and Riot really doesn't like monsters, but also he is a crystal scorpion. He doesn't have anything interesting for him going into his design. So, what would Riot do with him? You see, the issue is, we have no idea. The idea of a crystalline earthy race is so vague. They can likely turn him into something which people wouldn't like. Seeing how Riot likes to make everything unique, they would probably give him extra limbs, or like a double stinger tail. You know, something that would separate him from being just a scorpion. But since Riot never gave us a guideline for his new appearance, we really have no idea what they would do with him. And that's why voting Skarner is incredibly risky. Once again, unfortunately, he is most likely not going to win, because he's a monster and he's not really popular. And when it comes to the VGU polls, it is always a popularity contest. Next, there is Nocturne. If Nocturne wins, I'm gonna be fine with it. It's because his potential is actually quite massive. If you look into his lore, Nocturne is supposed to be a nightmare. In fact, he should be the worst embodiment of a nightmare a person can have. In Demacia, he stalks people in their dreams, and if he kills them in their dream, they die for real. This is his real thematic. He is hunting people down in their dreams. In League, he really doesn't do that. And his appearance doesn't help that thematic either. He looks like the shadow of a bald guy. While yes, that sounds terrifying to balding people, it's not really the design that would be giving people insomnia in the lore. Because yes, in certain regions of Demacia, people are legitimately trying to not fall asleep, because they are afraid he's gonna kill them. Funnily enough, following up on the design, Nocturne's blades don't make sense either. He is a creature born in the Shadow Realm. He doesn't need physical weapons to kill people. He is a magical amalgamation of a nightmare. He can have tendrils coming from his body and multiple limbs and anything to tear you apart. Why does he have a physical blade on his arm? He doesn't need weapons to kill you. If anything, if they rework Nocturne, they need to give him the Fiddlesticks treatment. They need to turn him into a pure nightmare. But that would be going into the Fiddlesticks territory. And once again, since Riot wants to make every champion unique, I don't think they would go there. And so once again, I have no idea what they would do with him. They need to make him creepy, and he needs to have some kind of a sleep mechanic. You need to feel like you are hunting down your opponents in their dreams. While that would be incredibly difficult to pull off in-game, this is Nocturne's unique trope. We then have Kogmaw, who, in my opinion, has the most potential. But the little description which Riot gave us for him goes in a totally wrong direction. First of all, I don't believe Kogmaw is going to win, because he has a low play rate and he's a monster, again. I truly don't believe people are gonna vote for Kogmaw, especially if Riot follows up on what they said. They said that they like Kogmaw being the voidy puppy. But if they rework him, they would make him more voidy, by which they mean he would look more like a hunting creature. And in my opinion, that's the wrong direction. What they should do with him is this. You take Kogmaw, but you make him incredibly cute. The thing about the Voidborn is that they hunt creatures in different ways. So, what if Kogmaw was cute on purpose? What if Kogmaw was the cutest Voidborn people had ever seen, and he's using his cuteness to lure people closer, so that they wanna try to pet him. But then, when you activate your W, he turns into a horrifying creature that quickly starts consuming everything around it, before it goes back into its cute form. This kind of design trope has multiple benefits. First of all, Kogmaw would be unique. There is not a single other voidy creature that would be cute. This would be what Kogmaw would be, a cute Voidborn. The second benefit is that you wouldn't cut off the reworks of the other Voidborn. Once again, Riot wants to make every champion unique. If they turn Kogmaw into a proper voidy creature, when they start reworking someone like Cho'Gath, suddenly they will be afraid to step into Kogmaw's territory. And so they wouldn't be able to turn Cho'Gath into a proper voidy creature. And that's the reason why you don't turn Kogmaw into a proper voidy creature. There are other champions who would be better with that design. So leave that be and make Kogmaw cute. The third and probably the biggest benefit, especially for Uncle Rito, is marketing. We know Riot likes human champions, we know Riot likes female champions, we know Riot likes attractive champions. Because they sell. So if you make Kogmaw cute, he will sell. So Riot, if you do this, you win as well. But one more thing, Riot mentioned that they would sacrifice his AP side if it meant that the AD side would be better. Don't do this. AP Kogmaw is iconic. No matter what's happening to his kit, Kogmaw needs two playstyles. He needs to be a really bad artillery mage as well as an AD carry. That's who Kogmaw is gameplay wise. Next up there is Shyvana. Yes, I do believe Shyvana is going to win. Everyone is a monster, she is a humanoid and she is female. The majority of people will vote for her. But if she wins, I'm fine with it because Shyvana does have potential. But honestly, I do believe Shyvana would be a fine ASU. She doesn't heavily need a gameplay rework. Her human side especially is fine. Yes, the animations are really wonky and her stance is really weird, but that's what ASUs are for. Her dragon form is what needs help. Her dragon form does not feel like a dragon. That's where most of the work would go. Just don't make it look like a skinny wingless chicken. Besides that, I would fix only one thing. Her fire breathing doesn't feel like fire breathing. It's a dragon that coughs out a furball that's on fire. That's not really a proper dragon. And finally, there is the last one. Tryndamere. From what I've seen, Tryndamere right now is hilarious. Recently, with the preseason, people started hating him again? Now, I don't really understand why. I assume it's because he became popular again, with lethal tempo and stuff, but people started bashing his ultimate, which, I hate to break the news to you, Tryndamere's ultimate has been the same since the beta. For 10 years, the champion has been the same. Why are people crusading now? Like, yes, I understand it. I've been playing this game for 10 years. I don't like playing against Tryndamere as well, but I kinda came to terms with it 8 years ago. Why is the hate surfacing now, again? Anyway, it's funny to see that some people are voting for Tryndamere because they hate him and they want Riot to rework him. But here's the bad news. First of all, every time a champion is reworked, they are a bit more powerful than before. This is on purpose. If you need a new product, you need people to use it at least for a while. That's why the champions usually are not overpowered when they are reworked, but they are a bit stronger than they were before. And then they are nerfed and brought back in line. So if you hate Tryndamere, don't vote for him because he will be more powerful after the rework. But on top of that, in the post we learned that if there is one thing Riot is keeping, it is his ultimate. And that's because this ability has been in the game since the beta. He had his ultimate for 10 years. I strongly doubt Riot is gonna change his iconic ability. So yeah, if you hate Tryndamere, don't vote for him. But if by any chance he wins and Riot gets to rework Tryndamere, there is genuinely only one thing they need to do with him. Story-wise, the lore behind his undying rage comes from the fact that he was defeated by Aatrox. Aatrox killed Tryndamere, but in the process he was also tainted by the Darkin Hemomancy. So it is the Darkin blood magic that is preventing Tryndamere from dying. And that's what I wanna see in Tryndamere. When Tryndamere activates his ultimate, I want to see him turn into a demonic Darkin. When he's in his undying rage form, he needs to look like a monster. Not just a red bubble around him as he shouts. Just like Aatrox ascends with his ultimate, Tryndamere needs to have something similar. Maybe grow temporary wings or something. The two champions are linked after all. Besides that, yeah, Tryndamere is Tryndamere. His abilities are fine, his ultimate is technically fair, just like Master Yi, you just need to learn how to deal with him. But the issue is that Tryndamere feels unfair to play against. And the feeling is what matters. I hate to break it to you, but Tryndamere has a 50% win rate. So he's not actually broken. But that is it for the VGUs. From what I've said, it might be obvious that yes, I did vote for Kogmaw, but I really want Riot to embrace his cute side. Cute Kogmaw that turns into a pure nightmare when you press your W would be incredible. But if Shyvana wins, I'm fine with it, if Nocturne wins, I'm fine with it. If Tryndamere wins, that's a mistake, and if Skarner wins, I'm gonna be nervous. Since Udyr's VGU is pushing his lore forward, they probably would do this to these champions as well. So it would be cool to see Skarner getting his revenge.